Welcome, YouTube pipe smokers. I hope you're doing well. I decided to call it a day, and instead of doing my live later, since I'm still doing pretty good, thought I would go ahead and do it now. And then when I go in, I can unwind and just be done and, close everything down, shower, be done. I've been in the shop till now. I don't really want to go. Don't want to go inside just to turn around in an hour and come back out. Hey, Sky, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. I'm seeing where I set stuff. Wherever I put it. I'm looking for a cigar. But I didn't want to go inside and get all, I don't know, I feel good. I want to do my live now. Thank you, buddy. I hope yours is as well. It's going good so far. Just been making pipes like crazy. I got one that's waiting till tomorrow to finish the contrast stain. And I need like 2 stems finished, and I'll have 4 pipes done for tomorrow. So it'll be good. Home from work and you ate dinner. Nice. Oh, wife just got home from work and you ate dinner. Very nice. Welcome, Dark Lord. How you doing, brother? I'll show you guys the one pipe. It's not done. It's in contrast, so you won't see it too well because it won't show up till I finish it. But I got the stem all done. And it's a shiny stem. And it's a nice bioluminescent sort of stem. So that little billiard is almost done. I don't want to touch it much. Finish that up tomorrow. It'll finish by the day after. Just trying to bust out work these couple of days before I get busy. Thank you. So that the stain that's on it with what I used to get the contrast isn't the color it's going to be. It's going to be an amber color similar to, what can you guys see? Oh, you can't see it too well. Oh, because you're under the light. I'm just high enough. The light is below my eyes. It's going to be an amber color, similar to this, but it will have highlighted grains. It's just not at that stage till tomorrow. So I have no complaints. It really has been good. I'm not behind enough to panic, just behind enough to keep going. But I've gotten fortunate with some really gorgeous blocks. So I'm expanding my possibilities with staining, and I can really show some beautiful blocks off 10 times better than you can if you can't do contrast in some cases. I have matches too. I just saw them a minute ago. Matches. This is a Fuente from Hillbilly Piper. I've been cigaring it up all week. It feels good to sit down and use a cigar without having to work, because then I'm drooling on it or biting it too much. But my setup is going good. It's almost done. I just need a taller stand. I don't know. You're just looking at the light now. Primarily my dad, but I helped him a little bit. Got this display fixed up. It's pretty old, and it's oak, and it's been through it. He said, let's make a display. So my dad worked really hard on it. I helped him a little bit. And now I've got a place for my cellar and tins, all that stuff. Greg, how you doing, brother? It's going good, buddy. I'll be packaging things up tomorrow night. I'll be packaging up and putting some more blends together. So yours and Hillbillies and RD and Patrick's packages will be completed tomorrow. And then anytime I can, I'll send them out. They should be, I'm hoping early in the week, but it's going to be busy. So it's going to be kind of, if I get the opportunity to get to the mail, to the post office, then I can get them out. If I don't, then I will have time by Thursday to get them out, but I'm going to try for early. So I'll get them packaged tomorrow, and they'll go with me. So it'll be good. I'm excited to be done with some of these. I've loved them. I've loved making them. I'm ready to get them home. I got a nice little volcano sitter that's almost done. It's pretty much just waiting for a stem and stain. And then the poker just needs a stem and stain. And a Dublin just needs a stem and stain. So they're getting to the last spot. So I should have some reasonable amount of pipes done soon. But that's my goal, is to mail everybody's out Thursday at the latest. Thank you, Greg. And thank you very much for your support, buddy. You've really helped myself and my mother out a lot, and it means a lot to me. So I was very pleased with getting you a custom stem unlike any I've made. And especially the pipe. I'm just excited to get it to you. It's gorgeous and it keeps looking at me. But it's out of the dust. I usually have it in a drawer that I have stuff wrapped around it, a nice clean cloth out of the dust. But this way it's up, totally out of the dust, away from everything. And Hillbillies is there. So we'll do what we can. And I appreciate your patience. I know it's been a while. It drove me nuts because this could have been on its way to you a few weeks ago had it not been for weather or finances in some cases. But finally, things will be going out. Things have turned around. And we are supposed to get snow tomorrow, so I'm keeping that in mind. But again, Thursday is my backup. I will try Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day we can be in town. I will get that mailed to you. But it means a lot to me, Greg. You never know in the world if friends will stick behind people, but you've been a great friend, and I'm behind you, buddy. And you're smarter than a lot of people want to know. So I definitely have no problems. But I'm going to have some really cool pipes coming out with contrast, Greg, that I think you're going to like. I finally figured out what I wanted to do with a couple for stains. And starting with this one that I'll finish tomorrow, I'm really excited for. I didn't know how to do this type of stain at the time, so I did as close as I could to it with your volcano. And with your volcano, the grain was so good, it turned out how it would turn out anyway. But I'm trying a different contrast, and it's going to be very similar to yours. The advantage of yours is it came with such great grain. It naturally goes from darker to lighter from the top to bottom. It highlighted itself. So it made its own contrast. It was no big deal. But now for pipes that won't do that, because that's very rare, I'll have an option to contrast. Then I can get used to it and try different contrast colors and just go down a whole new rabbit hole anyway. But I am on to, when I'm done with these 4, I'll have done, and the commission, this other commission, I'll have done my 60th pipe. So I'm very pleased with it. I only had 2 blocks with issues. Neither were so catastrophic they couldn't be fixed and kept and used. But they were bad enough. They wouldn't pass my standard. It has to number 1 smoke good. It has to be right, or it's a redo. And I'm just ready for more. I'm just ready for more. I don't ever want to quit. Mabu's like, you should come inside. And I said, well, I have my live at 8. So I said, I could come in and shower, but I need to come back out and tidy things up, or put tools away so I don't break them. And I said, I really want to do a live with this. I said, so I don't want to go inside for an hour and come back out and just stay in dirty clothes because I don't want to go shower and then come back out to wind and dust and cold. And I said, I guess I'll go on early. I looked, I didn't see anybody on. If I'm interrupting anybody's, I don't intend to. I did look online first to make sure from what I could see that nobody else was live. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to do a bull call from the bull call groundhog. What are you guys smoking and what are you smoking in? Tennessee Hillbilly, how you doing, buddy? I'm smoking a Fuente from the other Hillbilly, and it's awesome. And thank you. It was a whole bunch of work, but my dad did most of it because he did it while I was working on pipes. Hey, we've got one commission ready to go. And we've got the volcano ready to go. Which I love. I love these pipes. And an oompa. Oompal, not oompa. Oompal. Oh, I've been there. I understand, Greg. And then I'm going to load up a whole bunch more pipes in there tomorrow, I hope. I'm really dead set on finishing, at least getting a stain on 4 pipes tomorrow. And then I have the elephant's foot to progress on alongside commissions. I didn't do much more than where that was at. Because now I'm trying to, now that I know I'll be able to mail this week, I'm just doing the final touches on some things. And then tomorrow, like I said, I'll work. And then I'll package stuff, blend stuff, get it all set up, ready to go tomorrow. Or ready to go for the weekend. But I'll get it ready tomorrow for this coming week. And then just continue with the current batch I'm on. Oh, nice. Yeah, you never know. I know some guys that's all they smoke is 507C. And some that they mostly like Haunted Bookshop. And I didn't know for sure what you'd like. But 507C is good. Definitely. It's good for blending with. It gets even better aged, but it is usually good right when you get it. And the other Hillbilly, how you doing, buddy? I'm smoking an Afuente, courtesy of you. And I will finish the stem I was on. I will finish tomorrow. I was starting to get tired. But I did thin it out more than it was. And I'll just do a little TLC, the last little bit tomorrow and package things and all that stuff. So it'll be good. This Afuente is freaking phenomenal, sir. The 858, is that what it is? Did I miss something on it? Maybe I missed the... And I have a jar down here. For Mabu for sleeves. I wondered if you would. A lot of people do. It is a friendlier blend generally. At least to me, it was friendlier than when I first had Haunted Bookshop. Like Haunted Bookshop, at the time I had it, wasn't too strong for me. It wasn't real harsh or anything. But I did get a bite. But at one point I had a cold and a lot of things bit me that hadn't. So by the time I had aged it and tried it again, I was like, man, this is really bitey. I can't do this. So I'm not going to blame the blend. Well, this is freaking amazing. This is amazing. One of these days, when I win the lottery, I'm going to order in a whole bunch of stuff. And then I'm going to get into cigar making. And I'm just going to get lost. And in the meantime, I will just be smoking these nonstop. But that one didn't want to stay lit. And a big part of that was me trying to sit and talk and hold it like a pipe. And I wasn't doing any good. We've got a Frogmorton Cellar Tin, Club Cavendish, Whitetail, some Medico filters from the 60s, John Behaves, an up down cigar, Smoky Bear matches, some Samuel Galwis chocolate flake, some Bob's chocolate flake, H Old Dark Fired, Lane and Dulo, Esoterica and Soda Bed, Margate, Pembroke, and Tilbury. And up in the back, well, you guys can't see it. Well, up in the back is an unopened bag of Margate. Some Warhorse Bar, Hoyo de Monterrey, all sorts of stuff. Some nice atmosphere. I didn't realize how bright the light would be on the camera. Oh, yeah, your name's Dwight. That's Dwight. I totally forgot. I'm not good with names the first go around. Happy New Year to all of you. I hope it's your best year yet. I won't complain this early. Or I will, and I'll get it into this last year. Yeah, I had loaded up all my stuff and I was getting ready. I went and took care of the pets, and I had a bag with cigars in one pocket and a pipe and some tobaccos I wanted to take in, and came back in and thought, oh hell, I'll do my live here. So then I'm unloading all my stuff and my wife's laughing at me. Do you guys have any plans for New Year's Day? Mine is to hang out with Mabu. Hopefully I have like a really spectacular morning where I just, for some reason, wake up at like 5 and feel perfectly good and can do pipe work till like 10, and then have the rest of the day to hang out with Mabu, and then in the evening get things packaged at my leisure. Just have plenty of time that day and some blending done. That'd be a really great day. And then I'd fall asleep at like 8:30. Also, prayers need to go out for Hunter. Please, please keep Hunter's family in your prayers, particularly for his dad. He is he's got a lot going on. His kidneys and liver is shutting down. He has internal bleeding, and on top of that, the flu. So some of us are not having as pleasant of a New Year's as we should be. I hope to God that all of his issues stay in this year and he just miraculously is better tomorrow. That'd be amazing. And he said it is okay to spread the word. So I ask you guys to, if you're a presenter, make a video, or if you're in the live, let people know, because that's some pretty deep stuff. As Marty McFly would say, that's heavy. Go to church, have a nice bowl while you contemplate. Oh, very nice. Man, I understand that feeling. I'm not that way with knives because I'm not making knives, but I am that way with pipes. I get one stuck in my head and I'm focused enough that if I'm doing a commission, that takes priority, but I'll get an idea of when I want to start. And it's very hard to not think of some of those. The elephant's foot and the Dublin in the rough that I'm doing are just, when I'm not working on the pipe, it's hard to tune them out. When I'm working on another pipe, then I can tune them out fine and focus on that pipe. That's easy. But in the meantime, I'm inside. I'm like, oh, I need to hustle and get these others completed. And I don't mean hustle like rush through it, you know. But I just need to keep going, get a bunch done, and then get to the side project stuff. And It's also like a landmark knowing I'm caught up. But it's going well. I feel like the next big step, just get things sent out. I have 6 more packages to send out. I sent 3. Well, I had my mom send 3. But I have 6 to get out. And those will be going out this week. And then I can kind of relax. Like it's getting to the point now. And I know people are understanding with the weather. But it still gives me a little bit of anxiety when I'm like, these are done. They need to be mailed out. And, you know, what can you do? But it's time. It's time for them to be with their owners. So I hope you enjoyed church. That sounds good. And that is a whole lot. That is a whole lot. And his parents have to be good people to raise Hunter as nicely as they did. Hell, he was probably a handful. So I'm sure they were saints. They need to have some good luck go their way. Is there a specific shape of pipe you're doing? Is there something about it that makes it stand out more so than usual knives that you make? RD, Happy New Year, brother. How you doing? What are you smoking? Let's do the bull call. The bull call, groundhog. I'm smoking an Afuente from Hillbilly Piper. And Hillbilly, you have not led me astray with cigars, man. You have spoiled the living heck out of me. But I'm excited. I'm excited to get some packages out because it'll feel like Christmas. Even though Christmas just happened, it'll feel like, these are things, if we wouldn't have had 2 weeks of closed roads. And then we went and visited my aunt yesterday, and they had drifts worse than ours. Like all of our stuff, most of our stuff is melted. And all this time, theirs has been melting too, and they still have. You can see 8 to 9 foot drifts on the side of the road. They still have tons of snow. So I can't even imagine what those were at to begin with. Oh, cool. Ooh. Awesome, RD. I bugged you about that pipe a lot. I hope it's still treating you well. I really liked that pipe. I love the way it turned out. The only thing I wish I could have helped was that it had an initial crack on the shank. I wish it wouldn't have had that, so I could have left it a little bit longer for you. But it still turned out good. And the little sand marks, the rustication around it, and that color, I really liked that pipe. So I'm glad you have it. I'm glad you're using it. Let's see. Folding blades making slip joint pocket knives. Cool. How long have you been making knives? Oh, let me move the groundhog so I can read. Get out of here, groundhog. Don't need you right now, buddy. You can come back later. Awesome. I haven't heard any news back of any of my pipes not smoking well. So I still encourage people to give me feedback and tell me, hey man, there's something with this, or, if there's any negatives, I ask people let me know so I can work on that. You just basically see an area you're having trouble with and make it the best you can, and then go for the next spot that you may not be as good with and focus on that. And then overall, everything will get better over time. But that's why I like my Abu bent billiard. This is the same reason. I can sit there and smoke at any cadence and get 2 hours smoke out of it, no problem. So it's perfect for sitting and sanding because your breath changes as you're sanding on stems. And you're just sitting there and it's just smoking and smoking. And I really enjoy those tall, bold pipes. I think I will have some chimney pipes coming up, maybe some nose warmer, big ones, if I can. I will need to get some Briar's sometime fairly soon down the road, so trying to get as many pipes available so I can get more Briar in and I don't know, just be at the next point where they're getting prettier. Oh, very nice. Good for you, man. 2 years is pretty good. You're at a point, I'm sure, where you know enough of what you're doing that you yourself will know if there's anywhere you need to work on, or there's always room for improvement. Even if you're doing something you're really good at, there's always room for improvement. So congratulations on that success, because that's cool. While my uncle makes knives, he and one of his friends make muskets. Legitimate black powder rifles. They're amazing, and I wish I had collector money, where I'm just like, I got plenty. I want to order a custom-made musket for way too much. That'd be cool. Yeah, definitely, man. If you have any works you would like to show off, you're welcome to send me the picture in an email, and I can get it onto here and put it up for people to see and advertise for you if you'd like. I have a website being worked on now. I'm not sure when it will be up. So in the meantime, while it's getting started, I will do these side projects, build up an inventory, and use this part of the shelf for nice clear pictures and put them on the site when the time comes. And I totally agree with you, RD, because I've got a couple pipes I really like. They're good if I'm going to do like tenon work on the lathe, and maybe like for a few pipes, just tenon after tenon, getting them ready for the final sanding down and that kind of stuff. They're good for that because some of them are like 40-minute smokes. But yeah, if I'm going to be sanding for like 2 hours or stems, I did 3 stems today. Almost completed totally the third one. The other 2 are done. The third one is about another 30 minutes or so, maybe 40, of just that little touch-up sanding where you realign, where you're like, okay, the draft hole is going to be here on the mouthpiece. I can afford to move down a little more and bring the bit down. So I am working on one, just getting it flatter, but 3 in one day is a lot. That takes a lot of time to do those. And then I spent a couple hours just really bringing in the shank some more on that little billiard, and going through the process for contrast stain, because it's not too complicated, but there are steps you got to follow, and that focus of learning it, putting into the practice the first couple times, and remembering the mixture of stuff, that kind of thing. Just even if it's like 10 steps that are easy, it just takes me forever when I'm learning something new. It takes a long time to process that kind of focus, but it's going really good. And I've got my foot in the door. I've done contrast before on some practice pieces, left some extra pieces from blocks, and I did practice on a pipe I kept for myself. But I was missing some things, so I now have an option of making them pretty. And the world needs really pretty pipes that smoke good. It just needs nice look pipes that feel good and smoke good. Thank you, RD. It is. I feel so damn blessed and grateful. I was talking with Pipes and Bees. We're talking about spine issues and stuff, and how he had his own spine trouble going on. And, this was my 4th day of a really achy neck, and my C2 had been broken. I am so blessed because I could have been a quadriplegic and needed total care and had all sorts of just more material to joke about. But I'm fortunate, and I have a better neurologist who has me on good meds that allows me to do stuff like this. And it's been such a relief, because I don't know what I would be doing. I do some kind of woodwork. I'd probably go back, if I couldn't make pipes, I'd probably be back into making children's toys, wooden blocks, wooden vehicles, trains, trucks, stuff like that. Maybe even getting back into pottery, because I was pretty good at that. But the hobbies you can do kind of run out when your health isn't great. So something I can do where I can control the lighting and the temperature and give myself the best opportunity to do it is comforting in itself. And the fact that it has to do with something I really enjoy and that a lot of my friends enjoy just makes it so much better. So I'm absolutely blessed. Happy New Year, Smarty Bob. How are you, brother? Oh, thank you for that, Tennessee Hillbilly. That's nice of you, buddy. We have Smarty Bob with like the biggest bass I've ever seen. I'm smoking an Afuente from Hillbilly Piper. For some reason, after doing a bunch of pipe work, a cigar hits the spot, and then I'll get to a pipe again. And I even had to cut back on That's right. I had to cut back on pipes today, smoking them because of staining. Because I don't smoke a pipe when I'm doing anything with staining, or if I'm doing anything with alcohol, obviously, anything like that. I don't want ashes or any bits landing on something just stained right or something, you know. It would tick me off if I had to go on there with little tweezers, and I wouldn't want to mess with that. So I had to put the pipe down, and that made me sad for a bit. But I did have a very nice chat with Phil. And we talked about some things while staining, and then sat down and shared a pipe for a bit, and it was good. It's raining like crazy where he's at. But that is thoughtful of you, Tennessee. Just let me know anytime. I'm always open for new ideas or commissions. I'm always open for them. Right now, I've got let's see, 5 commissions that are being worked on now. And then I will have 4 more in the next batch of pipes that I start after these are done. So I always ask people, give me 8 to 10 weeks, but very rarely would they ever reach that long of a wait time. That's just because I can't guarantee how my days are going to be. It might be a week where I have more seizures and stuff like that. But a lot of times when I get a commission, I start that day or the next day, get the shape done, and then it's in line to go. Because then if I'm staining another commission and I can hop over and progress on that, I'll do that. And then when I'm done with those ones ahead of it, then I just focus on the next batch, and it goes a lot faster. Okay, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Let me know anytime you're ready. If you have any questions on pricing or anything like that, you know, if you know what shape you want or what grains you're looking for or size, and you want to quote, I'm always fine with doing that. I'm fine with working with people. I try to make it so people feel like they got the better end of the deal. And so far it's seemed to have worked that way from what I've heard so far. So I do need to go over the star ratings because I always see like someone gets a 1-star or a 4-star, and I'm like, I think the higher it goes, the better. But then I don't think about it anymore. So I'm like, one of these days, I'm going to sit down and into it a little more, just research it more, because I know I've got some pipes between the grain, the shaping, and the drilling that would be higher up. And the blocks, blocks that you can get great pipes just about potentially out of any block you get. But the more expensive ones, you have a higher chance of getting that spectacular grain. So there's, and I do cover shipping in the United States as well. And they come with a tamper and a pipe sock my mom makes with a pouch on it. And then I also usually send a gift of some of my custom blends as well. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good deal. And I'm waiting. I got everything in except one box of Backy. I got all my stems in. I had them from 2 places. And I got a box of Backy in, and I'm missing a box. So I'm just waiting and watching. Should be here sometime next week, but I'll find it if it is, because I'll be running around like crazy. But that's really cool you make knives, man. I appreciate that. I love knives as much as I love pipes. I've always enjoyed a good pocket knife. Always, from when I was pretty young. And I do wish I would have had the foresight and grabbed my mom's dad's pipes that I found on a shelf. After he passed, everybody was gathering up, and we had relatives that smoked cigars or cigarettes. And so it was just kind of known that we didn't smoke or drink or anything like that, especially underage, but we didn't do any of that. And so we looked down on it. And I thought, I held a pipe up and checked it out. I didn't want to get in trouble. I was pretty young. I didn't want to get in trouble at the time. So I put it back on the shelf after looking at it a bit. Didn't think anything of it other than I thought, man, it'd be cool to keep these. But I thought, I was at the young enough age. I was like, these for grown-ups. I don't need to be messing with this. I'm just going to get in trouble. And I wish I would have kept them, because nobody really knows where they ended up. And I have my dad's ceramic leaf holding some freehands. And I didn't know he even smoked a pipe until 13 years after he passed. And it would have just been cool to have that extra stuff, especially now, years later, I'm smoking a pipe and cigars. Oh, I totally missed that message. Nice, Bob. I do most of the time, unless it's like some of the work I do, it's near my face, and it's not the fun kind of alcohol that I don't know. I'm overly cautious, or probably appropriately cautious, when it comes to staining and stuff like that. Like, I've got the area I do sanding at, and then I have the area that I do staining at, the area I do the finer buffing and then buffing with carnauba wax. And then I have a stem or a tamper making area that's metal work stuff. I do need to dismantle one of the wheels since my wire wheel is now replaced with the second buffer. I've got a second grinder set up and it's both metal grinders, and I'd like to replace one with the wire wheel and just have them on the same thing away from everything so I can make more tampers soon. I make metal tampers out of metal that I've found around here. A lot of them are made from really old nails. Some of them have been here for over 100 years. So they're a little bit of a piece of history with those tampers, even though they're mostly pretty simple. But they're good tampers. They're nicely weighted and they're comfortable and homemade, handmade, whatever you want to call them. So you're going to church tomorrow and you're going to contemplate a knife. That sounds good. I'm going to be. Oh, and we also have morning prayer at 9 a.m. Eastern, I believe, with Recovering Know-It-All. And he does a really great online church service. It's fantastic. I can't always be up at that time, but whenever I am, I'm there. I think I've only been to 2 or 3 because he did cover one for a guy. But I really enjoyed it. I always try to get people involved. Your tamper was, if I remember right, it was a part of a steel post. I want to say it was what they call a dead man post. I think it was, if I'm remembering. I've made so many, it's hard to remember. But if I'm remembering correctly, it was part of a dead man post that I found, that I hooked a piece of machinery on years ago that had been on this place for a very, very long time. I hooked an arm of a disc corn planter years ago and damaged it a little bit. And I'm, what the heck is this? And I grabbed it and just pulled it out. Of course, my dad's like, there's just metal in the field? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, that's good because we can sell it. And some of them do make look like chrome. Like I use the wire brush on them. And some, I just love that old rustic look. So some of them I'll leave. I think I'm pretty sure that's what yours was made of. I think our newest fence posts are at least 20 years old. Any metal like that. So the newest tampers are at least 20 years old. Most of the tampers I send out are 75 plus years, as long as I have them. And then once they're gone, then that's it. And then as we fix fence in the summertime, I'll keep an eye out and see if I can get some more. But some of them I find are just too bent or too small or too corroded, and you can't get a tamper, reasonably sized tamper out of them. So I don't end up being able to use all of them. Thank you. Thank you, Hillbilly. I used to do welding. I used to do a lot of metal work. And West Nile kind of wiped out a whole bunch of memory, but there's some things I remembered. So I'm just relearning. When I first got West Nile, it made it impossible for me I had to relearn speech, relearn how to form sentences, and I lost a ton of information, which is unfortunate, but it's a good thing you can learn at any age. But I miss welding. I did a lot of welding. We made a lot of hitches and our own stuff for farming. And then I did metal work for a while. I had used a lathe. I kept thinking I hadn't, but I do remember using a lathe at one point for a short time. I was helping somebody with something. I think one of my teachers after school, I was helping him with something and used a lathe. But that was just part of what I had forgotten. And I learned pottery one summer, and that came naturally. I did some of it in high school, some in middle school, and then after West Nile, I did relearn it again from the high school teacher that I did pottery with, and painting and all that. Learned a lot of great stuff from him, which it's awesome because years later, he asked me during high school, he said, where there's any land available? And so I told him, get in touch with my dad. I think there is some. Years later, he's now our neighbor. We can see his place from our place. And he got a trailer house. He wanted to get a couple of really cheap ones, put them up on a hill. And then he liked it so much, he ended up selling his main house right after he got his student loans. They did the 10-year drop-off forgiveness. Once you've paid for so many years, they forgive the rest. And he just finished that. He had an auto body shop, worked on old cars for quite a while. So I helped him with that. And then I helped haul his house with a tractor. So that was pretty fun. And one thing he taught me was equal attention. That was one thing that stuck from art class, from painting. Equal attention. And that helps me now so much with types that I get to the point where I'm almost overworking them, where I get to they're done and I keep thinking I should do this. And pretty soon I'm like, stop where you're at. They look good. Call it good before you screw it up. That just makes it easier for me to follow along with you, Bob. And my mom's dad did we were actually talking about that. Phil and I were today about pretty much ironwood. This wood that a small piece weighs 5 pounds. And my mom's dad had that. He had, what are those horses called? He had Clydesdales. He had some other horses. He had turkeys. He had pigs, sheep, about everything you could think of at one point in his lifetime. And he and my other grandpa had all, knickknacks and other stuff around their place. The stuff from even the 1800s at one point. You're seeing old silverware in an old shack that's fallen down, So it was really fun as a kid to be. I'd get nostalgic. I'd go into a building and look at stuff and I could be there for hours checking out old farm equipment. It was almost like when places set up a restaurant or something and they order memorabilia made in its style of old equipment, like scythes and other stuff. We had the real deal. We had a walking A. We had 3 of them that you would actually measure acres and fence lines with by hand. So I got to use one of those. That was cool. Piece of history. Oh, nice, Bob. I got to watch windmills be put up once, and that was amazing. The great state of Texas. That's true. I'm a fan of Texas. I don't live there, but I'm a fan of Texas. Texas believes in the Constitution as I do, but that's as political as I'll get. I considered going Uncle Buck to my niece's boyfriend yesterday, but I was nice. Yeah. 2 teenagers left alone, one being a minor. When I found that out, I was pretty aggravated. So that's a nice way I can put it. I wasn't mean, but I felt like being mean. So I'll give my brother heck. You can bet it. He would have given me heck. Like if we had a reverse situation, he'd been like, "What's going on here?" So I'm gonna give him heck. Like, how do you like living in your daughter's boyfriend's house? Like, what are you talking about? I'd be like, well, this house. I mean, if I walked around, if I answered the door in my underwear, that better be my house. It wasn't cool. And my dad said, Bill, you're not the parents. Let it go. They know what's going on. It's up to them to be the parents. But it got me fired up. I don't get too fired up over a lot of things, but a few things really, really burn me up, like any kind of abuse to women, children, or animals. I feel sorry for the SOB that picks the wrong day. But other than that, if you're a good person, we're good. We got no problems. That's just the thing that came to mind for me, man. Was going Uncle Buck. You guys, man, I miss John Candy. The world needs like another 100 years of John Candy. Yes, and pipe abuse. But at least with pipe abuse, you can fix the pipe and then just not send it back. I don't. It's a good thing I don't restore pipes. I have done a couple, but it's usually been just making new custom stems for somebody's pipe. I haven't had to, I've had to, one I matched a look for, but I didn't have to match an identical specific stem for a pipe. But I do make custom stems. So, I've had, well, right now I had somebody pick up my Author tomato pipe and they sent it back. They're friends with my brother and they sent it back. And I said, what's wrong with it? They didn't get in touch with me. Is something wrong? He said, no. So he just wants a second made for it. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I will do that. I'll do custom stems for people too. But I'm not, if I'll be very upfront with people if they're looking for a pipe that's got original parts. I'm not quite to that point yet, but I'll gladly make custom stems for a pipe. They just send the pipe in, we figure out what we're going to do and make the stem. I don't mind doing that. And my mom will make custom pipe socks. So if you guys do need pipe socks, just let me know the measurements and we'll get you pipe socks with pockets on them. And then, and Greg Tunnel picks them up too. He got 3 like 14-inch church warden pipe socks. And my mom hand makes them. I'm trying to get a little bit more of the right kind of leather. I do have one leather pipe pouch left that's available, but I'm trying to find more leather from the guy I was getting it from because he had really good quality, and it's soft, nice deer hide. So I've made some of those as well, but I'm trying to get more and make them available. And I am working on not just the website, that's in the early start right now, but I'm also working on getting a logo done. I've talked with a few people and then life got in the way, so I'm waiting I'll get back in touch with them once I've mailed some stuff out and have a little more thinking space and see if I can get a logo and find something I can put on the pipe socks that's a whole logo instead of just ABU stitched on there. Maybe a picture would be really cool. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was Chris Farley, but both were amazing. Both were amazing. John Candy and Dan Aykroyd, those two together. And it's funny because you'll read years later of people that didn't get along, but you couldn't tell it with their acting. And I did watch a deal on Chris Farley, and it was just tragic. Because he had done such great work. One thing that was really neat was he had a speech he had to do, and I can't remember the school, but it was for acting. And they said, here's your speech. And he came in the room and if I remember right, it had something to do with a beer. I think he opened it, took a drink, and chucked it against the wall and stormed out of the room. And he goes, "That's how to get someone's attention," or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, that'll work. Todd, how you doing, brother? I'm the same way, Bob. I'm the same way. Happy New Year's, Todd. Good to see you, buddy. I'll be on about another half hour or so. It won't be a late one because I was getting tired. So I just figured if I'm going to be tired and go in, then I may as well go in and shower and call it good for the evening. So that's why I did the live earlier. I hope I didn't mess with anybody's schedule. It was either that or possibly not do it, and I didn't want to skip the live. Yes, RD. I think that's correct. I think I recalled that as well. And sadly, it was similar with Elvis. Yeah, hillbilly, exactly. I know. I already had to miss a Saturday, and I had to miss 2 tumultuous Tuesdays, and one's including this next one. I do have to miss because we're gonna have some busy days. And I'm 35 now. Can you believe it? 35. Practically 50. Yeah. It's been a long couple months. The best part has been pipes. And the stain. The stuff I learned today and got good practice with staining, I'm so pleased with. It's going to pick up some looks on pipes quite a bit. It's going to be really good. Great to see you, Bob. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Sleep great. Happy New Year to you. Enjoy 2023. It's bound to be good. I hope. So far, I'm ending the year right, though. I've been smoking some really great cigars. It's been a good year. It really has been. I've gotten a better neurologist. I've gotten better meds. I've gotten a good amount of good days in a row, which is very, very rare. So I'm very happy with that. Great cigars, come up with some great blends. Did some wonderful trades with people, including Hillbilly. Gotten better at stems, better at the pipes overall. Maintained good drilling. And today figured out some more on stains. So it's been a good year. A young whippersnapper. No, oh man, you're even closer to 50. You're practically 60. Better than I deserve, young man. So, has this year been better? Has 2022 been better for you guys or worse than 2021? Is there anything you would have done differently this year? It's easy to look back and go, I would have done this, but if you include like the fact that you can only do what you can with the information you have, what's been something you would maybe redo this year, and what's been the best thing for you in 2022? I don't really know what I would have done differently. I probably just forgot it, and that's okay. I know what I would have done differently this year. It was yesterday, and I would have left my niece's boyfriend tied to a tree in what he was forgetting to wear outside in the cold for my brother to come home and find. And it's not a threat. You know, he would have been alive. He just would have been cold and embarrassed. So I do wish I would have done a little more there. But trying to keep peace, and it's not, I can't choose how people raise people. Yeah, you don't want to past. Exactly. And Happy New Year to you, Lurker Troy. It is great to see you in here, buddy. What's the year? Nice. Oh, I'm really glad that we got, before winter came, that my dad and I rebuilt this shop, because this is the coldest winter we've had in many years. So the idea was to have a warm, comfortable place to work regardless of the weather, or cool enough, even if it was hot out. And man, we sure did it right. It got really cold, and this shop stayed where there was really one day I just couldn't do much, because the cold weather was just beating me up. You can feel it even if you're in the warmth. When it's really cold, you still notice. It's all the same a while. Wrong emoji. It brings tears of joy. Oh, and I had this going on. Let me see. It is still gonna let me scroll where I want to scroll. I had this going on the other day. My wife said, "You sure you want to leave it overnight?" I said, "Sure." She said, "It's gonna hurt your hairs." I said, "No, it won't," and it didn't. But you should have seen when I had it undone, because it looked like Ursula had like 3 weird curl things going on, because she braided my hair. And what do you do? One year, my wife was on me, and when I was sleeping, she painted my toenails. So I learned, if she wants to braid my hair, I should just let her, because I don't want painted nails. Yeah, there you go, hillbilly. Nice, Tennessee hillbilly. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that Todd and his family got a good place to be right before Christmas. How amazing. And Mabu's parents are doing better. They had a hell of an early part of the year. I mean, within a year period, her mom broke both hips and a wrist. And that was heck. I'm very hopeful with this coming year, with my mom's knee replacements and possible hip replacement, that she does very well. That's my biggest concern this year. I've known people that have had amazing, especially recently, amazing results with knee replacements. But I've known people when I was doing healthcare that didn't have good knee replacements. Yes, hillbilly. Yeah. I'm going to paint your nail. I'll go ahead and braid the hair. I won't argue. And it stays on its own. I put the yellow hair on it, but she'll do that. It'll just stay like that. I got to let her have some fun. She puts up with my sorry rear end all the time. She's stuck around through a lot, so I figured she deserves to braid my beard. And I was a pretty good sport because her sister was having a rough day Christmas. She had work and it was just a crappy day. A lot of things went weird. She had to be up earlier than usual, and she's up usually very, very early looking after horses and stuff. And then her neighbor had a sick animal, so she was looking after that, and she still had to go to work. And then it was just a really off day for her. So, my brother gave me a coat, and I'm pretty sure it was accidental that it was a woman's coat. And I'm sitting there, look at all these pockets. Look at all the tobacco carriage potential I have in this jacket. That's a nice looking jacket. I said, no lit pipes because it's nylon, but it's beautiful. And she tried it on first, and she said, it's not going to fit your arms. And I put it on, and it made me real straight up. And I'm like, it's a left-handed zipper. I'm pretty sure it's a woman's jacket. Arms didn't fit right. And then it had that cinch around your waist. I'm like, I do not feel correct wearing this. And I took it off, and she looked at it, and she said, yep, it's women. And she said, can I get a picture of you in that? And I said, you're going to post it, aren't you? She said, maybe. I said, fine. And she said, well, actually, I'm going to send it to my sister. It'll make her laugh. I said, okay, that's fine. My sibling-in-laws are awesome. Or siblings-in-law, I guess you'd say. They are fantastic people. I was afraid to look in the mirror. I probably looked too good. So the less time spent in the jacket, the better. I do miss the potential for those pockets. That sucker had like 10 pockets. Well, it was black, and it had like those kind of almost shiny silver around some of the pockets. You could have called it that, but then it had where it flares out around the hips. I'm like, can't do it. So I gave it to her. I said, Merry Christmas. I sent my brother a message. I thanked him. I said, yeah, she really loves the throw and the jacket. And he never said anything back, which is too bad. I was waiting for him to say something like, why'd she get the jacket? But I took this one off of him, off of my dad that he had given my dad. So it's fair enough. Oh, you cut 4 inches off of yours. Dang. Oh, man, I don't know what I put in this, but it smells really good. I recycle tins and use them to carry my own blends. I think this one might be Mabu's Retribution, but I don't recall. But it's a little fruity. It's got some nice Cavendish in it. Looks like some Burleys. Maybe some Stove Virginia even. Probably a tiny bit of some sort of Turkish. Oh. I know, and then Everett trims his beard, and I get the coldest winter we ever had. Told him you can't trim your beard anymore. You screw with the equator doing that. This pipe has been a champ. This is Old Reliable. It's a little crown rusticated. It was my second pipe. I've bitten and cracked the acrylic bit. I've thrown it and dropped it. It's been through some of the worst of my seizures. And it just keeps going. And I don't usually have to clear it out. And I don't usually get gurgle or anything. It's a great pipe. It was good when it started, and it's gotten better with age. Awesome, RD. Yeah, I left most of mine inside because I brought a bunch of other pipes out here, and I said, shoot, if I take all of them out here, then when I want to sit in there and relax and smoke a pipe, I'm not going to have anything to reach for. So I leave my red freehand in there because that's my sit and enjoy and hold pipe. I do need to make myself a nice church warden, though, because I do have a Roma church warden. It's really nice, but I would like one that holds more backy and has the draw that I put in my pipes, because I do like the way mine smoke. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe this year, maybe to celebrate if my mom's surgeries and stuff go really well, maybe I will make myself a church warden to celebrate that. With one of those huge stems, Hillbilly. Because I love those stems. And I've been fortunate. I had no idea making volcanoes. I didn't really know exactly what I was doing going in. And before I looked any up, I drew a few ideas, and I thought, I'm gonna make a volcano. I'll accept a commission and make a volcano. And I did that for Paul. Found out I was pretty good at it. So I made Vegas Piper 1 and U1 and Snarfblatt Piper 1 and Greg 1. And then I've got another one that's waiting for stain. And I'm going to see if I can put kind of a nice fat stem on it at the base and give it maybe a little bit of a saddle bit, a little bit of reach, maybe a couple inches, few inches. And just make a nice little pipe that just sits and is ready to be enjoyed with a nice stem. Yep, Paul. Yeah, I still have the OMS. I still do have that. And that's a good smoker. It smokes any tobacco good, but you just have to watch your own draw because it does have a nice open draw. So I usually pack it dense, or I'll smoke like Virginia's or Mordor in it. Something that I'll remember that automatically will smoke slower on its own. But it's a good pipe. Oh, thank you, RD. Yeah, it's funny because when we put this together, my dad ran short of panels. Well, the store did. So these wall panels we ran out of, and my brother had two from something he worked on. And I said, well, we used it for a small part of the wall because this building, between the supports, between the 2x4s, you might have a 4.5 or 6.5 is in variety. So it was really thrown together. And then it was moved. And so we braced it, did all the reinforcing to it, built it back up, filled any holes, did lots of insulation, tons of insulation. And then after we finished the narrow corner where we have like the electric panel and stuff like that, we had one panel left. So we cut an end off and used it for the back of this. How well you guys can see it. Yeah, you can see it's going to the side. My dad was right. He thought it'd look better side than vertical, and horizontal looks great. It isn't the same as these, but it matches close enough. And for the back corner we used it in, you can't even tell. And so for having the right amount of stuff, my dad nailed it. Yeah, what happened is they gave us a piece of glass longer than the left one. The right one's longer than the left. So when we moved it, for some reason, and I think it's because my dad's got bad carpal tunnel, one of the screws wasn't tightened right, and it was starting to scrape up here. So because it had moved when we moved it over here from the front of the shop. And so I tightened that and we readjusted the glass, but I think it needs readjusted again because it didn't squeak initially. But this is probably close to 40 years old. And my dad put stain and other stuff on it. And we fixed it all up pretty good. He did most of it. But that glass is kind of a pain. I think we're going to have to readjust a bracket and then put another screw in one of them. I think that'll do it. But I'll probably put some WD-40 on it also. Oh, I got you. Yeah, OMS pipes are their own brand. They're not Missouri Meerschaum. They're very good quality pipes. They're a little up there. I think if you look at pipes that, artisan pipes, for what you get out of them, I think the prices are fair. When I got mine, when I first saw them, I'm like, oh man, because I usually didn't spend a lot on pipes at the time. I didn't have much money anyway. And I looked at it and I thought, oh man, that's a little up there. But the more I've gotten to know pipes and the quality and realize that those are made like they're made by hand. They aren't made just factory made. You're going to get a good smoker when you get one. The price was fair. And I've enjoyed mine ever since. The only trouble I had with it at all was just that I had used other pipes and wasn't used to the draw being that open. So I had smoked a longer pipe with a more restricted draw, And then when I smoked that, then I was starting to burn tobacco on the top right away, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I got to slow my cadence down. So it wasn't a problem with the pipe. Oh, nice. Well, if you like English, I'll have to double check tomorrow, as long as I think I do have the components for it. But I have an English I made I really love. It's what I pictured an English tasting like to begin with. And I never really found one that just hit the perfect marks for me. And it's just a personal taste thing. Like, some people really like certain flavors of one English and not the other. But this one I didn't really find in anything I had picked up. And so I'll send you some because it's really good. It's just 2 components, but it's fantastic. I think it's 2 components. I'm pretty sure, but it's fantastic. I've gotten it in one of my trusty blending notebooks. Which are about halfway transcribed to my computer, but if it's a day where I have a choice of, do I want to blend, do I want to make pipes, or do I want to move recipes over, then it's probably going to go in the order of making pipes and then blending and then forgetting about the moving recipes over altogether. Yeah, this has got to be Mabu's Retribution. Or this might be... No, this has a little Latakia in it. This is probably Mabu's Royalty. Or I made a Balkan for her, and then I made one that was... I made an English for her, and then I made something... because she doesn't like Balkans or Englishes, so I had to make ones that she would like. And then I made another one with Latakia in it. That's this one. It's been tin forever. I usually label, but I didn't, apparently. I don't think I have. If I did, it was from a sample from someone, and it was probably over a year ago. But I can't recall it. Usually I can remember blends or certain things. I've really only forgotten 2 if I've tried them, I think. But I think that's, yeah, I don't remember that one very much. So I probably didn't try that one. But that is nice of you. And I'll also send you... Oh, and I'm going to try tomorrow. I'm going to try the match Grousemore that I put in a jar for the week, to see how it held up. And then if it didn't hold up, I'll make some tweaks and try it again. Otherwise, I'll package it tomorrow with your other stuff and get them ready to send out next week. But I think it's as close as anybody can get without adding stuff. It tastes like there's Lakeland, but very light, with no Lakeland in it. So I'm very happy with how it turned out. And it has... you do get more flavors in it, very subtle, but you do get more flavors in it through the smoke, because there's several components. But it's nice because there's a little more to it. So it's like Grousemore with a little bit less Lakeland and a little more complexity. So it's a nice one. Recovering know-it-all. I just talked about you a minute ago. How you doing, buddy? Happiest New Year to you as well. It's going good so far. I won't be on much longer because for some reason, after almost 12 years of marriage, my wife still wants to spend time with me. She says she still likes me, so if she wants to spend time, then what the heck? Oh, cool. Oh, I did bad at that. There we go. Some smoke rings around the garage. It's so damp here still. I could probably light fireworks in the ditches and not cause a fire. Yeah, what is it now? Oh, it's 60 degrees in here. I turned the heat off because I wasn't sure where I was going to do the live. But it's still nice enough, and I'm kind of comfy with the coat, so I'm good. I know the worst thing about enjoying working on pipes is when you get tired and you can't work on them. Like right now, I'm like, my body's tired, my legs are shot. I'm like, I'm done for the day. But there's just, I really like doing it, so I just kind of wish I could have the option of just continuing working on them as long as I wanted. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased. So far, the only pipe I ever had sent back to me was the guy wanting another stem. So either they liked them or they just got rid of them and didn't say anything. But I'm hoping this because most of them liked them. Outdoor Briar, how you doing, buddy? Good evening to you. Happy New Year. Hope your day went well. Hope you're doing great. Also, Michael, I'd like to let you know, I'll let everybody know. I've already mentioned it once in here, but I want to let you know because you're doing the prayer. At least I presume you're still doing it tomorrow. But either way, whenever you get an opportunity to do it, and this goes for any presenters in particular, or if you're not a presenter and you visit a live, please keep Hunter's father in your prayers and please spread the word. He did okay it that we share this with the pipe community. His dad's kidneys and liver are shutting down. He has internal bleeding, and he's also got the flu because why not the cherry on top? So his dad is having a very crappy day. So If you don't present, please, any lives or anything you're involved in, any meets, please type in and spread the word. And if you do present, please make a video. Or if you're in any lives, just let everybody know. Because I've only seen a picture or two of his parents, and they look like they're nice people. And I know you can't always tell, but I can tell. They look like nice people. And I almost lost my dad years ago. And I'm super fortunate he's around. My brother's got kids, so my dad got to be a grandpa. And he wouldn't have gotten that opportunity had things gone otherwise. And I had a hell of enough time still trying to get over my grandpa after 14 years now. So I feel for him. Oh, okay. Okay, bud. Well, I appreciate you letting us know. I'm sorry you're not feeling great. Hopefully it'll pass quickly. We're pretty sure that my sister-in-law around here before West Nile happened years and years ago, like 20 years ago or something like that, long before I got it. We figured out my dad got it, and then it was going around for a while, and then it calmed down more. And then, so we figured he had it before anybody around here really had it. And then my sister-in-law, we just figured out that the symptoms she had before COVID was really a big thing. She had pretty much every symptom they're talking about. And we're pretty sure she had COVID and didn't know it. And it's really screwed up her parathyroid and a lot of glands. And she's got obesity in her family anyway. And having glandular issues and weight gain for no reason, on top of not being able to have the energy to go work out, is really making it difficult. You know, weight gain's a big deal. A lot of people don't know it when you see somebody else that's struggling, and you imagine, you know, the more weight is more work on their knees and more wear on their body, and she doesn't need that. And she's been sick, and she's doing better than she was, but she just has no energy. So we figure that she got it probably about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, and didn't know what it was. Oh, very nice. I'll have to go back and review it, Michael. I didn't know. When I started, I didn't intend to start mine early. I started it 2 hours ago almost. But I was feeling that I was hitting my wall for the day. And I thought, well, I may as well, while I'm already out here, I may as well do the live. Then when I go in, I can shower and eat, get comfortable, and just be in. Because I wanted to do my live out here with the display. But I didn't want to go stand inside and be dusty. I didn't want to go shower and come back out in the cold, or just stand around and just not, you know, I try to keep the house as clean as I can because I do have allergies. So I don't want to sit in dusty clothes on a chair that I would use in clean clothes and then go to bed and have that dust on your pillow and get in your face and eyes if you turn, you know. So I said, heck with it. I'll just do it now. I looked, I didn't see anybody online live. I have had 2 people that it unsubscribed me with or from, 3 people in the last week and a half. I'll double check that yours is still a channel I'm subscribed to. Like Nashville Mafia, people would tell me they're on, and I'm like, really? I looked and didn't see them, and I got on there. I'm like, oh, okay, it unsubscribed me. So I'll double check because they like to just kick you off of stuff apparently at random. It hadn't happened to me for a while, but I'll check because it bites to miss stuff when you have the time to be a part of something. It really isn't nice to miss it. I like when you have those times. I was looking at the smoke. I like when you have those times you just let out a big plume of smoke, and at a random point, you didn't mean to do it at all. There's this big ring going up. Usually happens when I'm sanding. Maybe it's got to do with the vacuum and the airflow. I don't know. But you find out how focused you are on if you're using like a spindle sander for some of it, and you're shaping the pipe, and you're like, keep looking. You're like, that's a cool, but keep looking. Well, I am going to make a video for Hunter's dad. And I ask you guys if you kindly do the same when you get the chance. But I'm going to do that before I head in and get it posting. And that's the only way you can do. Yeah, that was the only way I could forever. I got to where I could do it out of the bowl. Kind of. That was good. That's about as good as it gets for me. The accidental ones are more fun. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you greatly. I wish you and your families a healthy, happy, safe new year. And good luck with whatever you do. I will be continuing pipe work. I'll do what I can tomorrow, package things up to get ready to send next week. And then whenever I get a free moment to be at the post office, I'll get things sent out. Monday through Wednesday is going to be pretty busy. I don't even know if I'll get to do any pipe work unless for some reason I wake up super early and can do it a little bit in the morning. So I don't know, but if I can't mail anything early in the week, then my plan B is Thursday. But I will keep people posted because it's been snowing today a little bit more, and it's supposed to be worse tomorrow. So I just don't know. But if it's in my control, then I will try to get them out early. But thank you guys so much. You have a great New Year's as well. Thank you all. God bless you. Remember, when life gets rough around the edges, you can always jump on here, grab a pipe, light it up, and we'll get all briared up together. I will try to do some videos and stuff through the week if I can. Any day that I can do pipe work, I'll try to do a video with pipe work in it. I don't know if I'll do it live. I will not have Tumultuous Tuesday this Tuesday, but maybe Thursday, if I can get things mailed out, then I can do a Google Meet or something like that. We'll try to get one somewhere. It'll probably be later in the week, but we'll just see how it goes. You got to wing life. That's all there is to it. But be well and be safe and have a great night. And thank you for the support, the friendship, and for being here, and spread the word about Hunter's dad. He needs all the support we can give. So thank you, and take good care.